If you've ever failed a prop firm challenge, you know that feeling. The frustration, the self-doubt. You know you're a good trader, but something about the whole process just feels, well, rigged. And you know what? You're not wrong. But the problem isn't your strategy, and it's not your discipline. It's the math. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the hidden mathematical trap of these challenges and show you the one tiny adjustment that shifts the entire probability game right back in your favor. Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we're going to dive deep into why so many traders fail and expose the mathematical trap that's hiding in plain sight. Then, I'm going to introduce a simple but revolutionary solution, show you exactly how it flips the odds, and finally, give you a new playbook you can start using today. So let's get right to the heart of it. Why do the vast majority of traders fail? The answer has almost nothing to do with having a bad strategy or a lack of skill. It's all about fundamentally misunderstanding the game you're actually being asked to play. This number is just staggering, and it's pretty consistent across the entire industry. Somewhere between 95 and 98% of all challenge attempts end in failure. Now, it's easy to look at that and think, well, 95% of people must be bad traders. But that completely misses the point. It's not that the traders are bad. It's that the game is specifically designed to make even good traders fail. This right here is the absolute key. We're so conditioned to blame ourselves, our psychology, our greed, our fear. And look, those emotions are definitely real, but they are not the root cause of failure. They're just symptoms. The primary game you're playing inside a prop firm challenge isn't a trading game. It's a mathematical survival game. And it's this math that creates the intense pressure that leads to all those emotional mistakes in the first place. Let's be crystal clear about this. A prop firm challenge is not some neutral playground where you can show off your trading skills. It's a purpose-built arena, an obstacle course with rules that are specifically engineered to apply immense and constant statistical pressure. It's designed, from the ground up, to weed out anyone who uses a standard retail approach to risk. So, let's actually break down the architecture of this trap. What are the specific rules that turn a perfectly sound trading approach into a complete recipe for disaster? These are the three pillars of the challenge. You've got a profit target you have to hit, but at the same time, there are two hard boundaries you can never, ever cross: the daily loss limit and the max overall drawdown. Now, on their own, each rule seems pretty reasonable. But when you combine them, they create this mathematical gauntlet that leaves almost zero room for the natural ups and downs that every single trading strategy has. And this slide just shows the core conflict perfectly. Standard trading advice tells you to risk 1 or 2% per trade. That's totally fine on a personal account where you can stomach a 20% drawdown. But in a prop challenge with a razor-thin 10% max drawdown, that exact same behavior becomes a statistical death sentence. A handful of losses in a row, which is a normal part of any strategy, is enough to get you disqualified. This is a really critical idea from probability. But in a prop challenge, your ruin isn't losing the whole account. It's just hitting that 6 or 10% max drawdown. I mean, think about it. If you risk 2% per trade, it only takes 5 losses in a row to fail a 10% drawdown challenge. If you risk 1%, it's 10 losses. Every single trading strategy on planet Earth will experience a losing streak that long eventually. The math is just not on your side from day one. And this constant, unforgiving mathematical pressure, that's the real source of all the classic psychological mistakes. Revenge trading, forcing trades to hit a target, holding on to losers, hoping they'll turn around. These aren't character flaws. They are the predictable human responses to being put in a mathematically unwinnable situation. You're not weak-minded, you're just reacting to impossible odds. The problem isn't your psychology, it's the environment. Okay, so if the core problem here is a math problem, then the solution has got to be a math solution, right? This is where we introduce the tiny little adjustment that completely rewires the game and shifts the probability of success from nearly impossible right back into your favor. Just take a second and really think about that. What would that do for your mindset? For your confidence and your ability to calmly execute your strategy if you knew you could take twice as many hits before getting knocked out? It would change absolutely everything. And here it is. The solution is simple, and for a lot of people, it feels deeply counterintuitive. To win, you have to risk dramatically less per trade. I'm not talking just a little bit less. I mean half, or even a quarter of what's considered standard. It feels like you're tapping the brakes, but what you're actually doing is creating the mathematical space you need to survive. And this slide just shows the impact perfectly. Trader A, with a standard 1% risk, is on a tightrope. A streak of 10 losses and their challenge is over.
But by simply cutting that risk in half to 0.5%, Trader B can now withstand 20 consecutive losses. You've literally doubled your lifespan in the game. You've given yourself a massive psychological and statistical advantage. The pressure just evaporates because no single trade has the power to seriously hurt you.
And let's be really clear here. This isn't a timid strategy. It's a strategy of longevity. You are buying time. Any profitable trading strategy has what's called a positive expectancy, which just means over a large number of trades, it should make money. But the key phrase there is a large number of trades. This small risk adjustment is how you buy the opportunity to actually place that large number of trades, letting you weather the inevitable storms of the market along the way. So how does this tiny risk adjustment change the math so dramatically? It's all about shifting your main objective. Your goal is no longer hit the profit target. Your new primary goal is never, ever hit the drawdown limit. It's survival first. Profit will just be the natural result of survival. As you can see on this chart, the probability of hitting your max drawdown, the #1 killer in these challenges, it doesn't just decrease, it drops off a cliff as you reduce your risk per trade. You're fundamentally changing the statistical nature of the game you're playing. You're moving from a situation where a string of bad luck can end your attempt to one where it's just a small, manageable dip in your equity curve. Now, you might be wondering, why isn't this the first piece of advice every prop firm gives you? Well, you have to think about the incentives. The prop firm business model is incredibly profitable, not just from profit splits with a few successful traders, but from the huge volume of evaluation fees and resets they collect from the 95% who don't pass. Their structure rewards patience, but their marketing has to encourage action. And this is the great disconnect. The marketing is all about speed, fast cars, and life-changing money. It's designed to appeal to our desire for a quick win. But the traders who consistently pass and, more importantly, stay funded for years are the ones who completely ignore that hype. They adopt a slow, steady, and frankly boring approach to risk. They treat it like a business, not a casino.
All right, let's put this all together into a practical game plan. Here's how you turn this mathematical insight into a concrete strategy for your very next challenge.
This is your new rulebook. First, your risk is fixed at 0.5% or less. It's non-negotiable. Second, you trade less, not more. You wait patiently only for your highest probability setups. Third, you never increase risk in the middle of a challenge. Don't get cocky after a winning streak. And fourth, you have to embrace the slow grind. Your goal isn't to pass in 5 days. It's just to pass, period, without getting disqualified. And finally, adopting this mindset is the glue that holds this whole thing together. The evaluation is not the prize. It's just the job interview. The real prize is the funded account and the long-term career that comes with it. So stop treating the challenge like a sprint and start treating it like the first careful step in a marathon. Your primary job has changed. You are a professional risk manager first and a market analyst second.
And this is what I really want you to remember above everything else. Success in this arena isn't about having some secret indicator or being smarter than everybody else. It is simply about understanding the real game you're in and then choosing to play by a set of rules that favor you, not the house.
So I'll leave you with that question. The path to a funded account isn't about finding a magic strategy. It's about survival. It's about patience. And it's all about playing the math. Shift your focus from hitting the target to protecting your drawdown. Cut your risk in half, and you will find that passing the challenge goes from being a possibility to a probability.